Hey guys, welcome to the mobydick 7.12 release. Good that so many of you are here. Just want to start off with a few bits and pieces of information, how you can ask us questions and so on and so on. So obviously you're at live.pascom.net now. On the right hand side there'll be a little screen that says your name, so type your name there, and also then you could just type your question and off you go. You just press ask question and it will come to us, and at the end we will answer all your questions for you. So yeah, obviously as we go through everything and a question comes into your head, just send us a quick note and we'll get to it at the end of the release.
Don't wait until you explode.
Yeah, exactly. Get it all out there and then we'll just carry on at the end, right? So yeah, as I said, welcome to mobydick 7.12, live and uncut. We're going to start off with a bit of a technical modification that we've made. So it's a bit more under the hood of mobydick itself, and then we're going to end up with, we'll save the best till last, shall we say.
Yeah.
Matthias, start us off. What have we done on the technical side of mobydick?
Yeah, the first thing we did is we moved from the old Debian version we were using to Debian VC, which is not the latest but the stable release of Debian. And as customer, you don't notice that we changed everything under the hood. But what's the difference now, or what you can feel, or what you can see?
What are the benefits?
What are the benefits? Yeah. Yes, thank you, James. On the one hand, it's faster.
Yeah.
So we changed the PHP versions because of the underlying versions. We can now change the PHP and the Apache version and the database version and so on and so on. So all web requests are much faster than before. Okay. Now you can say, I'm not interested in web requests, it's a telephony system. Yeah. So what's the benefit if I log into the web UI and it's faster? But you have to understand that at the end, every request we send is a web request, even if we do chat or if we do if we have an integration to other systems by our APIs. All these things are web requests.
So it's going to become much more responsive.
Yes, it's much more responsive, much faster, and can handle much more users at the end. Okay. So the advantage is about 20 to 30% speed.
That's not bad.
No, that's not bad. The next thing we did is we changed the kernel version also. So the advantage here is better support for hypervisors. Okay. So we already had in the past really good support for hypervisors like VMware, like KVM and so on and so on. And with the older kernel version, there were some issues with Hyper-V, just cosmetic issues, but there were issues. They are solved, and the overall speed
is again improved.
For hypervisors and virtualization. And many of our customers use virtualization. Yeah. So I think they will benefit.
And more, as we go into the future, more and more virtualized systems are out there. So this is definitely something that was good for that sort of front. Okay.
Yes. So we also changed the users you can use with our systems. So for the smallest system, it was 10. Yeah. Now it's 15. Yeah. And so on and so on.
And I think the mobydick appliance was 50, and now it's 100. And yeah. Okay. Perfect.
Something like this.
Cool. All right. So that's the technical side of under the hood that you can't see, but you'll enjoy using.
Can't see, but you will enjoy it. That's the best features.
Yeah, exactly. Next thing that we did was you may notice that there's a bit of a telephone here on the desk.
Don't move it.
I'm not going to move it because we've got a camera above us, which you'll be able to see from the front on view in a moment. Matthias, talk us through the Auerswald integration.
Yeah, we integrated new telephones. You said it already, Auerswald. Now what's the difference? These are the first phones with Android on it. We integrated. Normally Android phones are the flagship phones of a vendor. Yeah. Maybe I think Yealink has a big one, which is really big in size. And they start with standard phones with already an Android on it. So this is very interesting for us. This is the one thing because it's interesting. The other thing, it's a German vendor, and we can work very effectively together with this vendor. So the integration is, I think, very nice.
Cool.
And the current feature set is the same feature set as like for our other integrations, but it's easier to improve it in future. And you can see that it's not integration with XML browser like Snom, like Yearlink, like Astra, Intel. It's integration through the browser, so it's a full-featured browser. You will see in a minute. There are three models.
There's 3 models, yeah.
3 models. You can only use the Auerswald models with Android on it, and there are 3. Yeah. There is one which is also called an IP phone, but it's not Android-based.
Okay.
And we're just talking about the Android-based phones.
Cool. So what that really means for the customers who choose these phones is, I mean, everyone's got a smartphone. That's, well, a lot of us have got Android phones, so you can have the usability and familiarity of an Android phone on your desktop. So I think it's time that we have a look at it and see what exactly we've done. Now here, it's got a bit of a proximity sensor, so I can just go put my hand there and everything comes up. Matthias, you mentioned that the menus and so on were browser-based. So we've added a little bit of a command to this BLF key here, and it brings up our mobydick phone book, which thanks to the support, we can integrate into the phone. And if I just click on here, everything's touchscreen. So
not only the phone book, everything we have integrated in those menus, like hot desking, roaming user, journals, stuff like this. But one of them is the phone book.
Yeah, of course. So, and as we said, you know, it's so familiar that you can just use your touchscreen. Everything's going to be all right. There it is. And I can just search. We've got a couple of users set up. I only need to have 2 letters. Press OK. It finds Matthias. Press that. And then I can, just from there, hopefully, press it again.
Press it more smooth.
Yeah, there we go. And it starts calling. So obviously, if you like using touchscreen, that's the way forward. If you, like me, and have really fat fingers and can't be able to work, then obviously the keypad is still there and everything.
Yes, and you can also use it. You cannot see it very, very good, but you can also use the arrow keys on the system to jump around.
Yeah. Okay. So that is that everything for the Auerswald phones, or is there more?
There is not more for now. We can do also the firmware management, so updates, stuff like this, like for all other vendors. We have this integration here, and that's all for the phone itself. Yeah. But we changed the provisioning system a little bit. Okay. For the Auerswald, provisioning means that we can automatically configure the phone. We do this already for Snom, for Astra, for Yearlink, Mitel, I don't know. Yeah. But we changed it a little bit, and I want to show you in the mobydick web UI what we did and why we did, and maybe you can tell us in the chat if you like it or not. What we did is we added a new basic configuration. So we have configurations for all vendors that we can do auto provisioning with. And here is the configuration. And here you can see that something is not translated. And here you can see that we have files now. So how did it look like in the past? If I go to Snom, edit, we had that grid,
table view,
grid editor, table view stuff. Yeah. Sometimes that's not what you want. Think about you want to define your keys on the phone, like 50 keys, and you want to change it for every user or something like this. Then you have to go in to every field, click, blah, click, next value, next value, next value. So it's much more efficient just to copy and paste the text you want to put from A to B.
It could be, for example, you have 30 phones, 20, you want to have a certain setting, and you just copy and paste the setting and then customize it for the other 10 much more quickly. Yeah, okay, fair enough. So that saves a lot of time for the admins there and so on. And next thing we've done, saving time for admins, the copy and paste licensing.
Yeah, and I'm not finished here
yet. Okay,
so,
I've gone too fast. Okay, fair enough.
You're a little bit only, but we will change the behavior. If our customers say, yes, this is what we want, deal with the text files, it's better than the grid editor or the table editor. then we will change also all the other provisioning stuff, things. So please let us know in the comments if you like it or not.
Or send us an email to sales@passcom.net.
So,
Okay.
sorry.
Okay.
Now you can continue.
Now we can move on to the. It's quite a cool feature actually. It doesn't seem like much from the surface, but it is actually quite a cool feature. Copy and paste licensing.
Yes. There we have to say something about our past. You have to know something about our history to understand that this is a feature. How did it work in the past? The advantage of the appliance we're using is that you just click on update and then we update everything. The OS, bug fixes for the OS itself, feature improvements, our software, the complete software stack, all services, our bug fixes, and so on and so forth. Just by one click to the update button, we do everything. And if you click to the update button, we also updated the license.
Right.
So the license was just a package like all the other packages.
Okay.
The problem here was that if you have a new license, if you had a new license, you just click on update and then you updated the complete mobydick. So maybe you were on 7.8 and then you said, oh, I buy 5 new users. Now I want to update the license and then it updated the license package and the complete system. There was a workaround. You could say to our sales team, please send me the license standalone, just the file, and then you could put it onto our web UI and upload it. So that worked. But many people did not know that and just clicked on update and updated the whole system. And this took a little while for the update, and you had a brand new version. Maybe you did not want that.
No.
So we changed that to the copy and paste license, and not only that you can copy and paste licenses, but we disconnected the whole license mechanism from our packaging system.
Okay.
So that's much faster now, and we really can have a look at the license. Is it valid? Is it not valid? And it's much faster just to integrate a new license. That's good for a customer, or even I think it's the most important part is for the partner who has many customers. It's much faster now, and the customer can check the license date on his own. Let's dive into the details. So if you're in my Passcom, this is a license. Here you could download the license. If you have an older mobydick, you can still download the license package and upload it on the other side. Here is the copy and paste license. Now you just click on license content, copy, paste, and then you go to mobydick. And here you can now do the following. Go to license overview, enter license code, paste it, and that's it. And then it activates the license without any reload stuff, blah, blah, blah. It just enables the license. And if you want to just click on check license updates, then the system can connect to my Passcom and fetch the latest license complete full auto. So you don't have to do anything, and you can just grab the latest license. This is very important if you have a license which is not the perpetual license but the subscription license. Then you would run out of service if you just wait too long. So it's easy, just click for license updates.
There's something else we've done on this front that makes it a little bit easier as well. Do you want to explain? Okay. The commander falls back to the community version.
That's true.
Which means that basically, if your license, for whatever reason, is expired or no longer valid, it's expired for a subscription, and you want to update it, the fallback will go onto the community version. So when you log on, you can still log on to the commander and then just check for license updates. And if there's one there,
it's still valid for 3 users.
So you can still carry on telephoning a little bit, and you don't lose everything. But you could just go check for license update, and your system's back up and operational as quickly as possible.
True. Thank you for pointing that out.
That's fine, no problem. That's what I'm here for. Right, the next thing we've done is a bit more end user visible. So we've integrated a new, function in the client, which is to do with outbound call rules. Do you want to have us show us what we've done?
Yes, I just directly dive into it. Here I have two clients opened. This is yours with the Auerswald telephone and a soft phone, and this is my client only with the soft phone. And here we can go to the trunk. We have no trunk, so we just create a plain zip trunk manually. That's all. We have to add a host. I just ask my gateway. I will never get an answer, but that's okay. Save it. Now you have some outbound rules. They are here since the beginning of mobydick. You have some outbound rules, how you can leave the system. Let's say you have a standard rule. So if somebody dials zeros, does not matter who, does not matter which destination, then I want to provide my number, which is 991 12345 0, for instance. But then you want to, this is maybe standard. Then you want to add a second rule, which is maybe anonym. So you don't want to display your number in that special case, and maybe you want to dial *0 in this case. And then we just don't provide a CID, then it's automatically an anonymous call. And what we can do now is we can change this show in client. I can say, yes, I want to show that rule in the client. And let's see what happens. We just save it, apply. And then we go back to the client. I have to close the client and start it again because we fetch many credentials and ACLs and stuff at startup time. So also this. And I start it again. This is just because I want to start more than one client at a time. So I needed to start it from the shell. And now you can see there is a new feature, that one. Here you can see a new drop-down box. What does this mean? If I dial a number now in the client like this, it's like it was before. So auto means the same behavior as you know from the mobydick client. The behavior is, if I want to dial a number, it searches, is this a local number? If not, it says this is an external number, and then it prefixes your standard outbound prefix. You defined it. In most cases, it's 0 or 9, depends on the country.
Exactly,
It will add that one. But you can change now and say, no, I want to make an anonymous call. And then this number, if you dial this number, it also searches, is it locally available? And if not, it prefixes it with, in my case, *0. It is important to understand that it still searches for local numbers, because otherwise you could only dial external numbers now, and then you had to switch back to auto to dial internal numbers. This goes for all the numbers you can find in here. If you use the phone book or directly here or there or I don't know, somewhere in the client, this goes for every action in the client. Even if somebody called you through the standard trunk, if you have auto and if you call him back out of the channel, then it will call him back through the trunk he called you. So, but if you change it and say, now I want to call him back like this, then this changes the behavior. And you can use it for many scenarios. We can talk a little about the different scenarios. The one scenario is that you have many customers, or you have not many customers.
You represent different companies.
Right. You represent different companies and countries. No.
Yeah.
And then you can choose. Now I am making a call for company A, B, C.
Yeah.
Then just choose it in the client, and the appearance of your numbers and stuff can be completely different. The other thing is, what we use a lot is we want to use different country numbers.
Yeah.
Like you, if you do an outbound call and you are here in Germany and want to use the UK trunk, for instance, then you just choose UK.
Yeah.
So you can do almost everything. You can define in outbound rules. You can map it to the client now and use it.
Okay, cool. That's quite a nifty little tool for anybody who has multiple numbers. Cool.
We had this already as a customization for special projects. Not so nice, but like this. And I think it's really handy. And the next thing you have to understand is this goes only for the client.
Yeah.
So if you dial a number on the phone, you have to dial the prefix.
Yeah.
Because the client does not prepare the system that if somebody uses the phone, that it does the same. So on the phone, you have to dial a 0 or you have to dial a 9 or a star.
Or whatever it may be. Yeah.
I don't know, some prefix. So only for the client, but I think it's, if you really work for more than one company at a time or with different countries and so on, you should use the client for the overall view.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it could also be, for example, in a call center when they've got different projects. You could say, right, I'm working on this campaign, and then in the afternoon you switch to another campaign. You don't have to move desks and telephones and blah, blah, blah. You just switch. Yeah.
Or remember all the star keys you have to change the project.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, fair enough. That's a nifty little feature. Next thing we do may not be so interesting for all of you because it's mainly for the German marketplace. But we have done something with Junghans cards. We've basically got rid of them, I think.
Yes.
Explain why, Matthias.
Junghans cards, just to explain the situation, were the first cards, or was the first vendor who had an ISDN card for asterisk.
Okay.
And ISDN was very important for the German market, but also for the European market, because almost everybody there uses ISDN.
Yeah.
And so we integrated them because they were the first. When we started with mobydick and the asterisk, this was the only way to have proper ISDN.
Okay.
The company does no longer exist. I'm not sure if the company still exists, but the cards are not produced. I think 4 years. For 4 years, something like this.
I think the company still is in existence, but they just stopped producing the cards now. Okay. So, but what does that mean for us then?
This means that we get rid of all that stuff. And the advantage is, or I have to explain it the other way around, Junghans provided some kernel drivers for asterisk or for the telephony framework of asterisk.
Okay.
And we had to do a lot of changes and stuff to always be compatible with the latest version of asterisk and stuff like this. And we had also problems because there is a special timing device we need together with the Junghans cards, and we get rid of that all. So it's sad for people who are still using Junghans cards, but there are not many people.
Right. Okay.
But for all the others, it's great because we can switch to newer asterisk versions much faster and integrate new features much faster. So I think it's fair because many people have...
the majority don't need the Junghans cards anymore, so it's just better for...
Better for the majority.
Exactly. Okay, that's democracy for you there.
Yeah.
Right. So that's that. The next thing that we've done, we've made some changes to conference rooms. Matthias, what have we done there?
We used a very old asterisk application called MeetMe in combination with the Junghans special timing device. And this was deprecated a very long time ago. We still used it because of backwards compatibility and so on and so forth. And the problem is you need a kernel driver, for the timing in the system.
Right.
we built something called CloudStack. We will explain later. That you can use in this technology, Linux container technology. You cannot use timing devices for every container. So we had to get rid of all that.
Okay.
And the next problem was our conferencing system did not scale enough. Right. It was okay for 10 users, 20 users, or for 10 concurrent conferences. So this was no problem, but we have customers, they make conference calls or announcements through conference calls with a few hundred users, or they have thousands of concurrent conferences, maybe. So this was a problem of scaling. This just did not work properly sometimes. Okay. The application MeetMe crashed. And
so what have we done then?
We removed the application MeetMe completely and moved to the modern implementation, which is called ConfBridge.
Okay.
And ConfBridge scales and does not need a timing device any longer. And this was the last thing which needed a timing device.
Right.
And we just put it out.
Okay.
So everything is now clean and great. And that's very important for the cloud stuff we have and for every virtualization. Because if you have a timing device in there, then and you have problems with the timing in your system. This is sometimes the case if you have a VMware or something, many machines or heavy load, then the timing is not so good as like on hardware.
Right.
And the driver for the timing simulation was very sensitive to time shifts. And maybe this causes a problem or something. So it's more lightweight, it's
more stable
and faster, just to get rid of all that. And mainly it depended on the compatibility to the Junghans card. So, sorry.
So, yeah, sorry, if you like using the MeetMe and the Junghans card from mobydick 712, for stability and improvement reasons, it's not there anymore. Sorry about that. But
we implemented everything again with the conference bridge, so we can have a look. So for the user, it looks the same like before. Users conference rooms. Thank you. I cannot find it.
There we go.
You can add a conference room. You don't see any difference. Just a title extension if you want to hear a message or not. Music, password, save, and that's it. So we re-implemented the whole functionality of MeetMe with the new conference technology. One thing is missing. In the past, we had dynamic conference rooms, but we asked our users, they said, or many of them and partners, and they said, we don't use it, we don't like it. Please just put it into the client, because we need conference rooms which are managed in the mobydick client, because it's easy and straightforward. And this was the decision. We removed the dynamic conference rooms, did not re-implement them with ConfBridge, but in one of the next releases, we will, not in today's release, but one in the next releases, we will move the conferences here at team level. So if you go to Teams and you choose a team, then you can
start a conference directly.
Something like this. So this is, I think, this is what people expect in the client, that you can just start a conference. For sure, you can start a conference now. You can create many conference rooms. For each team, you just create a conference room and you join the conference. That's possible. Many people just do this. But I think you expect something like, if I go to a team and then click on, I want to call the team, that you just be dropped into the conference room. So that's what you expect. And this is what we will do. For now, you have to create a separate conference room for every team if you want something like this.
Fair enough. That will come in a future mobydick version. It's in the development phase, as we say. Next time or the one after, it'll be integrated. So this brings us on to what most people are really interested in this release for. Matthias, the mobydick CloudStack. Tell us all about it.
Yes, I want to explain upfront a lot.
Okay, fair enough. I'm listening.
because there was a little bit of confusion about the CloudStack. Somebody heard, they are doing something with cloud, and what will they do, and how does it work? And so I want to start from the beginning.
It's always a good place to start from.
Yes. And just explain what it is and what it does and why we do this. So mobydick 712 is just a normal mobydick which we release now. But as you already heard, we changed a lot under the hood.
Yep.
And we did this for performance reasons and to get rid of the timing devices, as I explained, but also to make it cloud ready.
Okay.
So mobydick 712 is now able to run in a Linux container.
Okay.
A Linux container is just like a virtualization, but not with so much overhead.
Yeah.
You can just start instances of mobydick in containers.
Okay.
And that's what we needed for the CloudStack. So mobydick 712 has the technology to run as Linux container.
Right.
So this is what we did. And if you just install mobydick 712 or the update, you don't see anything about that.
Right.
So it's a little bit faster for you. There is no timing device. Maybe it's more stable at some point. It was stable before, but
yeah, it's even more stable now.
Even more stable. Yes, something like this.
Yeah.
But you will not recognize that it is CloudStack ready now.
Okay.
So what we did, we built a new software, which is called the mobydick CloudStack, which you can download as ISO file, like mobydick. You install mobydick, download the ISO file, put it in your virtual machine or your hardware and just install it.
Okay.
So you can install something new, which is called the CloudStack. And the CloudStack just is installed in a virtual machine or on hardware.
Right.
Has one IP address. And then the CloudStack can start as many mobydick instances as you like or as your hardware allows.
Okay.
So this is the CloudStack. It's a separate product. And there you can start mobydick in the CloudStack.
I think that's the important distinction. It's a separate product.
It's a separate product.
Okay.
And it's like a hypervisor, but it's like a container manager. And the containers you manage in there are mobydick instances.
Right.
So this is important to understand. That comes up to the next question. How is it licensed, or how does this work? Yeah. It's just for free. Okay. So you can use the CloudStack, but you have to license the mobydicks which are inside the CloudStack. Yeah. So it does not matter for us if you use mobydick on hardware, in a virtual machine, or in the CloudStack. It's always the same. Yeah. So you just can license the mobydick and then use our CloudStack technology for free. And
there's something else important here that we have to explain. Is that for us, the CloudStack is mainly for our partners. It can be used by an end customer if they so choose for one mobydick instance. There's nothing to stop them doing that. But the main point is that for the partners, it really helps them manage all their customers in one platform, pretty much.
That's right. There are two aspects. Manage many customers just with one IP address and one instance. Yeah. The next is protect all the mobydicks with the session border controller. Yeah. So one of the containers, you will see it in a minute, is the session border controller, which protects all the instances of mobydick. Okay. But if you only have one instance because you are an end customer and you're not interested in hosting many mobydicks, then you can use the session border controller as protection for your mobydick. So it's interesting for end customers and partners at the same time. Okay. But what's very important to understand, our partners use the CloudStack for mobydick hosting. So in future, you will not come to POSCOM and we enable your cloud instance, but you go to one of our cloud partners and he will provide you a cloud installation. This is also important. This is a commitment to our partners that we provide them the CloudStack and they build their cloud services with our stack. Exactly. And this is another important thing that you have to understand, that we don't do the hosting for now for CloudStack.
Over partners, whether they be a service provider or a system integrator or whatever it may be. Right, cool. So I think it's time that we had a look at it, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Go on then.
That's right. What I did is I installed the CloudStack here. That's just one virtual machine. I've somewhere here, yes. it does not look very exciting, but this is CloudStack machine. So you have an easy setup like mobydick. Just put the ISO file into your virtual machine, click on blah and bloop, and that's it.
It works.
IP address. You have to provide IP address and username and password.
Yeah.
So that's it. Then you just go to the IP address. If you go to the IP address of the CloudStack, you will see it's HTTPS. It's a non-trusted certificate because it's self-signed, because for the demo, we have no official certificate, but here is the CloudStack. And here you can see he has two instances, mobydick 1 and mobydick 6. So if I click on mobydick 1, I can log into that instance. And you see all the same IP address. Users, user list. And here is the user list. I created a few users, you and me and Quirin. And now I go to another instance of mobydick, which is instance 6. Here you can see it seems like the same system, but it isn't. The users are missing. So this is the second instance I got. And you can add new instances very, very easy. There is an administration view of the system, admin. And then here are our containers. You have a few containers here, MD XY, yes. It's not started, so you could not see it on the front page. MD6, which is started and which you could see, MD1. And then you have some other containers. The proxy, he does all the proxy stuff. So if you serve on that IP address, first the proxy answers, which is the session border controller. And you can distinguish between the different protocols and stuff, and just routes your questions or your request to the different systems. Then you have the controller. This is the controller you can see here. And we have a database container. And if you want to add a new mobydick, you just say add container. A new mobydick container. And here you can see you can also create a new proxy. So you can have more than one session border controllers later. But here a mobydick, and you can choose the version. The first which works is 7.12. But you can also use another version. And this is a key feature. You can have many different customers with different versions and customizations. This is very important to understand. Other cloud solutions, you start one big solution, and then that's it for all your customers.
They're all at the same level and everything.
All the same level and everything. And we really have those containers, and they are separated from each other. So one customer cannot access technically the other customer. And you can have different versions and stuff like this. Very, very easy for each customer. Or you can have a customization because you have a module for that customer. Right. And he has to stay on that version. And if you want to make updates, you can say, okay, the first 10 customers I do an update, the others not. Or only the customers which are interested in new features and the others not. So this is very important to understand. Let's go ahead. I say test is a good name. Then you can restrict resources like disk space, memory, cores, CPU shares, something like this. And then that's it. And now the container is ready to run. You can just click on OK, start the selected container, and that's it. And after 20 seconds or 30 seconds or up to a minute, depends on your speed of your machine around, the instance is ready to use. So that's really easy. And the next thing is, if you don't want to click around in the front end, you can you can do this by our APIs.
That's cool.
So if you are a provider and you have your management system and say new customer, okay, and then tell the mobydick CloudStack I need a new instance for the customer, and then it starts.
That's nice.
The instance. What is also important to understand, that's what do we release today? Today we release mobydick 7.12, which is able to run in the container. Today we release milestone 1, of the mobydick CloudStack. Milestone 1 has not the ability to make TLS for the SIP calls, so for now no encryption for the SIP calls.
Okay.
This is one restriction. The other restriction is you can't do backups from outside. You can do backups inside, so go to the container and just make the mobydick backup as usual.
Yeah.
Or apply new backups or restore backups if you want to move a machine to the CloudStack. So this is something which does not work for now, and there are some other little restrictions.
Right.
The final solution, which is production ready and downloadable for free on our homepage, will be at IT Meets Barbecue. Who does not know the event? That's our main, great, fantastic, super event. It
is a very cool event that we host every year, where we invite customers, partners, technology partners, whoever they may be, to join us in Regensburg as we have a grill and eat lots of steaks and burgers and so on, and present the latest mobydick stuff.
Yes, and it's I think it's in June.
Yeah, it's June, beginning of June the 10th. Or something
so
like
expect the finished CloudStack product mid of the year. Yeah. Okay. So that's what it is. If you're interested to test Milestone 1, you could even try it for a customer. So if you have a secured environment, it's not a big deal. You can test it. You can move existing mobydicks with the database backup into the CloudStack if you want to. So if you want to test it, just send us a mail at the sales team, and then you will be invited for our test group.
Yeah, and basically what our objective here is, because it's milestone 1, obviously your feedback is essential for making sure that it works exactly how it's meant to for customers and so on. So
or you have a new idea and or a good idea or something like this, and then you now that it's the time to talk to us. Yeah. Because we can improve it now, and we do the fundamentals now.
That's true, yeah. So if you are interested, just send us an email, sales@passcom.net, and we'll add you to our test group and send over the ISO file, and you can install it.
So I want to show a little bit more, because we did not do anything for now, but started some instances. Now I have a mobydick client, 2 of them. I just log out here and there. And what you have to do, normally you log in like this to the system, and how does the CloudStack know which instance you are using? That's very easy. You just add the instance name here and say this is the user in MD1.
Now, of course, it doesn't have to be MD1. It could be the customer name.
The customer name, domain name of the customer.
Yeah, exactly.
Something like this. Also for you, I think I created also your account. I'm not sure.
I think you did, yeah.
Yeah. Same IP address. Then we log in, and then we can see each other. And this is all managed through our session border controller. So they do not interact directly. This is all routed through our session border controller.
Okay.
And if I want to make a phone call, it's also possible. So it goes through the session border controller to the instance. The instance knows that you are on the same instance, and then just routes the call back to your client. So this is soft phone to soft phone. It's already working with mobydick 7.12. So you can test it. But now the next question, what's about standard phones, hardware phones? They don't know the @ sign with the instance followed.
So then the question is, how do we provision them?
Yeah, how we can provision them, and what phones you can use.
Okay.
So how we do provision them is we have 2 modes. In milestone 1, the not so secure way is integrated. So the provisioning URL you are providing to the phones is the CloudStack IP address /instance / the provisioning module.
Okay.
But now you could guess the instance names, so it's not very secure. In the release, it will be that there is a security token for each phone, which you copy out of the CloudStack to the phone.
Okay.
And then it's a completely secure provisioning way. This is how we do the provisioning. And the next question is, how do you register a phone? Every phone or almost every phone knows the concept of a proxy.
Okay.
So you say the proxy is the IP address of the CloudStack, and the zip register is the instance name. So MD1, MD, I don't know. If you do the auto provisioning, you don't have to care about that because we just configure it, right?
Yeah.
If you have a soft phone, which is not the mobydick soft phone, you just have to create, or you have to configure the proxy on the phone so that it can work. So we are compatible to every phone which can use a proxy, and for the final version, it has to support TLS. So it has to be able to encrypt the calls.
Right.
But all the vendors we support for now are able to, and most of the soft phones we tested, or almost all soft phones we tested, are able to. So it's not a big deal.
Okay, cool, perfect. Is there anything further that we need to discuss on the CloudStack apart from licensing?
You can go ahead now.
Okay, right then. That means we've got an even better thing to introduce than the CloudStack. Obviously, with the launch of Cloud Telephony and so on, we had to sort of rethink a few bits and pieces which coincided how we deliver support and things like that. So we've come up with some new pricing. And don't worry, it's not more expensive. In some cases it is, but there's more in, but in other cases it's cheaper. Matthias, show us the new pricing, come on.
Yeah, here is the new pricing. For now you pay 129 euros for the user without support, just for the user and the maintenance. Now you pay 95 users, so it's cheaper. It's more competitive. Yeah. Compared to other great phone vendors, it's more competitive.
It is much more competitive. Yeah.
So it's a commitment to our partners. They will use only that license, and if you want to use a license like this, then here you can purchase it online or through a partner. Yeah. So it's a complete commitment to our partners. But if you want to get support directly from Postcom, it was the case that you had to pay for every call. So you had the 129 euros for the license, but for every call and every question, you had to pay additional money. Yeah. And this was sometimes frustrating for both sides, what to charge, what not, stuff like this. And so we came up with a new idea. We just provide flat rates. So you can have plus email support, and the user costs this, and the maintenance rises from 70 euros to 90 euros. 19, yeah. Yeah. And here we have also live support, where you have flat email support, flat phone support, and flat remote support. Yeah. And this is the all-inclusive, where you can have flat support on top. So in summary, the license is cheaper. Yeah. And you can have flat support if you want to. Exactly. And if you have already licenses, and if you have already a software maintenance, for sure you can change now your model as a goodie without any extra costs. To as you don't have to pay the difference between the 129 and 139, 179. Yeah. You only have the higher software maintenance then. So it's easy if you want to change in a flat rate model. Okay. If you like. So all in all, a clear commitment to our partners. Yeah. So they can sell it for 59 euros. 95. Oh, sorry. This is very hard for me because in German the numbers are the other way around. Yeah. So sorry for that, but you can read it on the screen and on our homepage. Exactly. And to be fair, every time I go to the supermarket, I always have to switch in my head. So you know, I understand. It's fine. Okay. Okay. Which basically concludes everything we are here to introduce for mobydick 712. Which means it's time to take a look at some of the questions that you guys have been sending us. So I'm just going to quickly refresh the screen here, see if we've got any questions come in. Okay, first one's first is actually from one of our customers here in Germany who says, hello, Matthias, hello, James. He missed the German event, and so he's happy to watch the English one. Good job, smile, and so on and so on. Thanks for that. Next question is, it's for you. How easy is it to configure the Astra IP deck systems?
Which is?
Easy.
Very easy, I should imagine. No, it is pretty easy. I mean, we've got a template for the deck gateway.
Yes. So to be fair, it's not so easy like the SNOM.
No.
The problem is the following: if you have the Astra, there is no firmware on it, or just a little part of the firmware. Then it boots. Then it fetches the firmware from the TFTP server, and so on and so on. And you have to manipulate your DHCP server very, very heavy. So mobydick does all that. So you can, if you use the mobydick DHCP server, it's relatively easy because we do all the tricks and tweaks which are needed to configure it. But if you use your own DHCP server, forget it.
Okay, fair enough.
Because you have to invent a new vendor option for the provisioning. So please use the mobydick DHCP server, and then it's relatively easy. You create the base stations, and then you start them, and then mobydick configures them. That's because of the problem that you need to pre-configure it, that they can fetch their firmware. If you compare it to other systems like the SNOM M700, it has just a complete system on it. You boot it, then it asks, please give me the configuration, and then we provide the configuration. So it's much more easy. And so the handling is a little bit more easy. But you can also manage.
So basically, in short, if you're using the mobydick DHCP server, it's relatively straightforward and easy. And if you're using your own, you can forget it.
Yes.
I hope that answers your question. So I hope that answers your question. Let's have a quick look, see if we've got any more come in. Okay, we got one here. Why not use Debian 8 Jessie?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's too new for us. Yeah, that's true. We did not use the newest, but our problem is if we prepare the move from one to another system, it takes a while. So we are working a few months on the move to a new system. And when we started the new move to VC, Jessie was not finished. So this was the problem. So sorry. But we are using the backports from Jessie. So the kernel is from the Jessie backports.
Right, okay.
So it's almost new.
Almost new. I like that.
But that's the reason.
That's the reason. It's almost new. Okay. Just quickly refresh again, see if we've got any more questions come in. Okay. We've got one here. It's about the CloudStack. What phones will be supported using TLS in combination with the CloudStack?
Yes, all the phones we do the auto provisioning for, they can use the TLS. We tried it. They are TLS ready, and that's okay. So Astra, Mitel, Yelling,
and Auerswald.
Auerswald, SNOM.
No, oh yeah, we've got SNOM. Yes.
Sorry.
Sorry, SNOM.
Sorry, SNOM. They work. And as soft phone use the mobydick client, it works. Yeah,
straight away, out of the box, almost. Yeah.
And all the other clients are crap. So most of the other clients also work. If you like Bria is one of the most famous X-Lite. Linphone, I think, something like this. All the relatively modern implementations of soft phones can use TLS.
Okay, fair enough. We've got a question here. We've already covered it. When will mobydick 7.13 be released? We've already mentioned IT Minutes Barbecue, so in June. So you can expect another live release, mobydick 7.13, live and uncut in the end of June, beginning of July time.
So basically, for those who are new to POSCOM, we have 3 to 4 releases
a year,
each quarter one. Sometimes the last release shifts into January, then there are only 3. But that's normally how we do it.
Okay. We've got a bit of praise here for the new license model, which is always nice. Thanks very much for that.
Thank you. Cheaper, always better.
This is from an existing mobydick user who knows about call labels and so on. They are asking whether the call labels will be appearing in the client journal at any time.
Yes, this is a good question because I want to explain the problem. It is a problem. So normally you see the call labels, which are really great. We had a lot of great response about how cool the call labels are. But the problem is they are displayed in the client.
Yeah.
We have also so little pop-up boxes, and they don't show the labels. So if you minimize the mobydick client and just rely on the pop-up boxes, you have to open the mobydick client and see what are the labels.
Yeah.
And same goes for I cannot answer the call because I'm not on my desk.
Yeah.
And then I go to the journal, and then I wanted to see which call labels are in there. And this is the main problem about that, and this is not very nice. It's just not complete. So it's on our roadmap, and we have to finish.
Okay. So, and that's not just for the journal, that's going to be for the pop-up as well?
Yeah. Journal and pop-up.
Cool, good. We've got a question here. Any vegetarian options at the barbecue? Yes.
Yes.
One of our developers is a vegetarian, and he's there because he does all the filming and so on for us.
Two developers.
Two developers.
One is pescatarian and one is vegetarian.
It gets worse.
Yeah.
No, vegetarian options are definitely available. No problem.
Yeah, we have always water for free, so this is the vegetarian option. No, just kidding. It's really great. Everything is there for everybody.
Yeah. Okay. We've got another question. They've obviously heard in the pipeline, possibly visited a CeBIT about the prospect of a new client. We also did mention it in our marketing for this. So
that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. So go back to the screen and see what we have. We have a new client, a new mobydick client. This is that one. I just tried.
It doesn't look like much at the moment because it's very much in the beta stages.
Yeah, alpha stadium.
Alpha, okay.
Like this. No, this is not the right machine. Then I log in. What you can see, it's ugly and it looks almost like the current client. So what's new and why do we do this? What you can see is if I log in here, it just makes buff and you are logged in. Why is this so fast? Or it responds also very fast in all the phone book stuff. It's really, really fast. How is this possible? It's a Qt client, so it's a native application. We have the current client is a Java Qt mix.
Right. Okay.
So the soft phone is already Qt. So platform, native platform application.
Okay.
And the client is a Java mix.
Right.
And we will get rid of all the Java because it's supported very bad and the support gets worse and worse for Java. We handle this for you because we make a package where everything is in there, so it's not a big deal. But for us, it's really, really hard. And we want to have one single instance of the client, which is then a Qt client. Now we have two instances, the Qt part and the Java part. Yeah. And in future, it's faster and we can include all the specific OS features because we have a native application there. This is one point. The other point is it's divided in a in a front end and in a back end. And the back end is also able to run on iOS and Android. So we make a new front end. If this client is finished, we make a new front end for iOS and Android, and we use our back end. What does this mean for the end user? The soft phone is also integrated then in our mobile apps.
I know a lot of people have been asking about that, whether we're going to do that. So that's definitely something that's on the cards, yeah?
And that's what it does, basically.
Okay.
You can expect the Qt client first beta versions, I think, at the mid of the year and production ready end of the year. So now we focus really on the mobydick CloudStack until the mid of the year.
Okay.
And then we go ahead with client features, fancy features for the users.
Okay, so I hope that answers your question.
Further questions?
Just have a quick look. All right, just quickly refresh. We've got a praise for us. Thank you so much for getting rid of Java. You're welcome. Anytime. Right.
Was this one of our developers? No.
No, it wasn't.
It was a customer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, quickly refresh. If you've got any questions, now the time, or we're going to go under the hammer and go 1, 2, 3, going.
It's exactly 1 hour now, so everything is okay.
Okay. Dan, last refresh. Any questions? No, that's it. All right, good. So that's it for the Moby Dick 7.12 release. Thanks very much for joining us, and we hope you've found everything very interesting and to your liking. Yeah. Any final words, Matthias?
See you next time.
Yeah, see you next time. Take care.